Hello there, welcome to my channel. Today I have a flip through of a couple passport style journals. They could be passport for your passport traveler's notebook size, so they're 6x4, or they could just be small journals, however you want to look at it, because the covers are um, hard, well, sturdy with fabric. And I'm going to go through one and then the other. This one is made, all the pages are made of vintage maps. So I got I ran across a find of vintage maps, and I thought it'd be cool to make a whole journal out of them. So I made a little journaling card out of maps there, out of a vintage magazine. I put a little lace on one of the pages. Everything that's in the journal is clipped in so that you can move it around. I made some clusters for it. A lot of them were National Geographic. I tried to make different size pages to make it more layery. I cut out a map butterfly. It's just made out of paper. A couple punches of different paper. There's about, I'm not sure each journal, this one I think has about 50 pages. It'll say on the listing. You can put them in your passport notebook, midori, or you can just use it as your own little journal. You can clip out, I've sewn in the signature, so you can leave it or snip it and move the pages around even, if you're going to put it in a midori. But I think having a background of maps is for journaling and arting and collaging is really cool. Now these are some map pieces that I glued two pieces of map together, and then I put some botanical in. And I left these kind of open. You can tie a bow, or you could put some beads on it, or do some making it your own on those. The center of the signature. A little bit of lace. I think they turned out really cute. I punched the edges just a little bit with an edge punch. Another butterfly. Not too much embellishing. There's a lot of room for you to make it your own. Hopefully I'm not messing up the focus by doing that every time. I'm getting a little closer on the clusters. And another map journaling card. So, there's the first one. And this one is more of a floral theme. And on the front is a cluster made with a vintage, I think it's a baby's shower or something card. And you can take it off, so you can put it on there. You can glue this on if you decide you want to, or not. So it's more, you're more able to customize it. This is a vintage book page. There's a lot of vintage pages in here. This is a vintage book page. This is from a vintage garden book. The pattern paper is all digital, but the rest of it, most of it, is from, this is from an activity book. This is from a vintage magazine, birds and something. Some map pieces. This is from a vintage bird book. I punched out some map circles. If something's stapled in here, in any of my books, you can take that out too. It's really not very hard. I do it in mine. So you just undo the staples, and they're tiny staples, so it really isn't, it's not permanent where these are at. So when you start journaling in here, you can move things around too. Vintage from a, like embroidery book, from a calligraphy book. This is from a children's activity book from the 1950s. This is from a pilot's log from the 70s. In the middle of the signature has two journaling cards. They both say "Today is beautiful," with a couple cutouts of flowers that you can use in the journal. It doesn't want to go back in there. It's little leaves. I don't even know if I'll take that one out very far. That's from a vintage card, a part of a vintage, like, birthday card. That's probably from the 50s. More map circles. A magazine page from the 50s. This is a piece of vintage wallpaper. This one has I think this is the one that has a few less pages. It's like, but it's always 40 or more in these little journals. And another book page. It was like a primer, and it had some really pretty graphics on it. So you can use that in your journaling. And all these journals have a pocket, these side pockets in the front and the back. There you go. Hey, you guys, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.